The following is a KPB MediaWorks production.
Choose your fighter.
All right, guys, we're back, and today we have the leader of Dynamik Focus. That's your team name within the FGC. Your name is?
My name is Aziza Brown. My gamer tag is NaughtyNimbusZ.
And how long have you been? Well, let's put it this way. I've always usually asked this. When's your earliest recollection with wanting to play video games competitively?
Competitively, I kind of was in college in 1999, and I was really into Guilty Gear. So I wanted to play like more competitively, but I don't know where we can actually play competitively. So I used to do team tournaments at Stony Brook, and I was the team like the video game leader for Icon, the big convention out in Stony Brook.
Okay.
So I've been doing that and being in college and graduating and actually leaving Stony Brook and going to Farmingdale, and graduating from Farmingdale and with an engineering degree, and then just working. And I think in 2013, 2014, I found a thing called MashFest, and I was going there, and that's when, with my best friend Whitney, and we just started getting into playing video games and just chilling out there. And I was never competitive. Whitney was, so I used to follow her and play with her, going to different tournaments. And my first tournament, I think, was ECT, either 2014 or 2015.
Well, you say yourself you weren't very competitive. Is that why? I mean, 1999, Chinatown Fair was still open.
Yes.
Did you ever find? Oh, you did make your way down there.
Yeah, I did make my way down there.
What
like not often, because the thing is that I was a girl and my parents were very, very strict. So yeah,
no
like
putting quarters in the machines.
I would I would go there like once in a while, but it's just like it's one of those times when my parents didn't know that I was in the city. So like I would go to Brooklyn Arcade. I would go to when not Brooklyn, Broadway Arcade, when Broadway was a thing.
Broadway
yeah,
Arcade. Yeah, it's very big arcade in
very
the city.
big. Yes,
it's deeply missed.
Deeply missed. Even though there were like lots of fight outs.
Well, Chinatown Fair.
Yeah.
When you did make your way down there, when you had the chance to go down there in secrecy, as we found out.
Yes.
What did you think of it? Because by all means, that was the hotbed for the NYC FGC community.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts of it?
I mean, I wasn't really thinking of anything. I just we went down to Chinatown Fair. We played Dance Dance Revolution. We came back home. That's it. It wasn't a big thing. It was just we just love playing video games. It was just one of those things that we just did. You
were in the middle of the arcade days. So how many delis around where you lived had arcade machines?
I told you earlier, I learned how to do laundry at 8 because of the arcade machine in the laundromat. I would hoof it across the street with with all the laundry, and my parents were so proud, our child knows how to do laundry at 8. And no, I was taking your quarters and playing Street Fighter. I wasn't playing Street Fighter at that time. Street Fighter wasn't around at that time, but I was playing Commander, and I was playing Pac-Man, and we're just really loving it. And
oh, that's great. I love that story.
Yeah.
Tell us about Icon. You said Stony Brook. Is that a program or
it was actually a huge sci-fi convention.
A huge sci-fi convention.
Yeah. So I used to do conventions before. My really big introduction to gaming and competitive gaming was actually doing the Smash tournaments and everything like that. I'd actually do a Smash bracket, single elimination with 64 people in it, a whole by myself.
It's Smash Brothers.
It's Smash Brothers.
How long did it
And
take
then-
you to go through all that?
It took me 5 hours.
5 hours? Oh,
Yeah.
you're very efficient at
I
doing
was very
that.
efficient.
I could see you're one of these people that's like, don't waste my time, guys. If I tell you to sit down in the chair and play your game, don't
Yeah.
make me go around looking for you.
Yes, it was like that. So, and everyone obeyed, which was like amazing. So it was just like, but it was casual. So everybody who went to a casual tournament would just really want to actually compete. That was all they wanted to do, you know?
Okay. So by all means, it's like a comic convention tournament.
Yeah.
People go there to have fun. This is a little side thing we're doing during a comic convention.
Yeah,
Let's
it's like
go. People play this competitively? Sure, why
It
not?
was really funny because the thing is that like a lot of people only bought tickets to go to the Smash tournament, and it would boggle my mind. I'm like, don't you like? Look, there's a actual medieval like gauntlet tournament happening, and people full like armor beating each other up with actual swords.
But you're here to see.
But you're here to play.
You're here to see Mario beat up Luigi.
Yeah, like.
ECT 2014, you said, was your first experience at a major,
I
at
think it
a
was
fighting game community major?
Yes.
Did you have any experiences before that, before you decided to take the leap into going into majors? Did you go to any competitive locals here in New York, or?
I didn't really know about that, you know? Like, I didn't know about all our competitive locals or anything. Even though I went to Fun Zone and I met Elijah while I was going to Farmingdale, you know? Like, we would just go, I would keep on going to Fun Zone and stuff like that to play DDR and play Soul Calibur 2 and stuff like that and just chill out. But never knew that there was a competitive scene out there, you know?
So, how did you come across ECT 2014?
Basically through randomly finding out on Facebook. Because I was going to Match Fest, which was Sonic Boombox at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I just randomly saw it. Like, we randomly said, oh, let's go. And so me and my my best friend at the time just went.
You guys just decided to go. This was when it was held in Morristown, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then. Now, Match Fest, that's always fun.
Yeah.
How did you come across Match Fest?
Randomly on Facebook.
This was, I believe, about the beginning of Facebook starting to show lots and lots of events.
Yeah.
It's not like it's today where
No.
you could easily find anything you want.
No.
So you get to ECT 2014, you and your best friend,
Yeah.
and you just see this big convention space, or it was a medium-sized hotel at the time.
Yeah.
What are your first thoughts? It's like, were you, wow, this actually exists, or?
I mean, we knew Evo was this, but we didn't know how to get there. You know, like, it's like one of those things where, like, I understand how casuals don't know that a competitive scene exists, because I was one of those casual people that didn't know that a competitive scene existed. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, even though I met people who were part of the competitive scene at that time, I didn't know where else they went, you know? Because they didn't tell me.
Is the FGC, why is the FGC like that? Very secretive.
I don't know. The FGC doesn't talk.
Why not?
I don't know. It actually confuses me.
Are they trying to hide something?
I don't
Are they
think...
trying to? No, we don't want eSports, which has always been the narrative in this community. Even though whenever the money's available, people run to it. I mean, you say you don't know, but you run a team.
Yeah.
Could you possibly pinpoint it, or you just don't know? You just don't understand why people are like that.
No, I don't understand, because the thing is that I don't think that people understand the power of their voice and how they can grow their own scene just by talking about their scene, and not just talking to somebody else or anything like that. Just by saying, "Oh, I'm going to my local today," and just tweeting it out, or putting on Facebook, and then introducing your friends to a scene. People don't do that, and it actually hurts the scene a little bit, because the thing is that it's not something that people actually program themselves to do, to basically tell people, just say word of mouth, I'm going here.
And it's weird you bring that up, because like you said, it's mainly a lot of people. Some people, I guess if you want to use the term pop monster or stream monster, it's not people putting together events or putting together teams like you have. It's regular people who just like playing fighting games that know of the competitive community.
No.
They're the ones wanting to keep it inclusive.
Mm.
So again, why?
I don't know. Like that's the biggest thing. Like there's everybody doesn't understand. Like they want their scene to exist, but they don't want their scene to actually blossom.
They want it to stay within that bubble.
I don't even think they want to stay in that bubble. I don't think that, as I said before, I don't think that people understand the power of their own voice. That people understand if I actually just put 2 minutes aside just to say what I'm doing, you would teach somebody that really wants to do it a chance for them to actually join in.
Did you experience that a little bit at ECT 2014, where maybe you heard some people say, well, I'm seeing somebody new here. Why is she here? Or why is he here?
They didn't actually bother me, actually, like that. They were just like, because since I was going to Match Fest, I met some of the people from Match Fest, and some people talked to me from Match Fest. Some people just kind of went out their way and just did their own thing as if we never talked in Match Fest. So I don't, that like, I mean, it's just people being people. But
did you go to ECT as a competitor or just as a spectator?
I went as a spectator.
How did you soak it all in?
I liked it. I thought it was hype.
What was the first thing that stuck out to you when you first went there again? What was the first thing that just is like, again, was it just so many people here, or I didn't know this? I mean, do these things get bigger besides Evo? Like, what were some other things that just stood out to you among going to a major? Well, did you go to Evo first and then you went to ECT?
No, I never went to Evo. I went to Evo 2018 and 2019. So
okay,
yeah.
then. So after you get home, you've had this experience.
Mm-hmm.
What was your next step? Did you say, you know what, maybe I'll go to Mash Fest and I'll keep it to this, or you actually wanted to get more involved within the scene?
We got more involved because my friend was she wanted to be more competitive. So I was like her little
hurrah
cheerleader because at the same time, like, I didn't have enough time to practice. I didn't understood how much time you needed to practice to actually be good enough to actually play, because I used to play video games very heavily. So I knew I was trash, so I didn't. I was like, like, I'm an engineer at Con Edison, so I just didn't have the time to actually sit down and actually put like 20 to 30 hours a week into a game to actually be good enough to compete.
And that's funny that a lot of people don't realize that about these pro competitor video gamers. It's like anything, be it golf, racing cars, or being basketball players. You have to put time in.
Yeah.
And it's very weird that a lot of people don't look at it that way. Oh, you're just playing video games. How hard could it be? No,
you put a lot of muscle memory into your body just to actually perform combos or to react. Gamers actually see frames differently than a common person because we trained our eyes to actually see frame rates,
of course, faster
and better. So that is in itself is helps you out with competitive play.
Okay.
So like I also don't get it, because a lot of people were like, well, I trained like an hour or two every single week. I'm good for a major. I'm like, no, you're supposed to put in that time. Like, there's a lot of time that you have to put in. You have to react to situations, and then when they get bodied by, like, I didn't know this matchup, I'm like, yeah, like, this is time that you had to put in.
Well, again, it goes back to organized sports. Especially, we were talking about this earlier when I first met you, how people don't seem to realize the levels of competitiveness.
Yeah.
When you start putting 20 hours, that's great. If you want to compete at the highest levels, but if you want to go up a level above higher, that's when you start traveling.
Yes.
Again, it's like baseball players. I don't know if gamers like being called professional jobs, or I don't know. Maybe they don't like that term, but I know they are pros. They're traveling pros. They have seen different things. They have seen different experiences, which puts them a league above everybody else compared to the person that you said has 2 hours in. It's like you might do good at a local, but
Yeah.
when you get to another level, it's like, well, I didn't know this matchup. It's like, well, this is a full-time job for a lot of them.
Yeah.
So after ECT, and again, you go back and you play match. You said it yourself. You could only do it part-time. Your friend wants to compete. So
Yeah.
around what time did you realize maybe I want to get more involved within the fighting game community? Be it, maybe joining a team. I'm sure you've joined a team before. You created
I joined.
Dynamik Focus. Take us through that.
So I joined a team before, and I was the project manager for that team.
What's the name of the team, if I may ask?
It's Play All Gaming.
Oh, okay, PAG.
Yeah,
They're based
PAG.
out of New York, right?
They're based out of New York.
Okay.
Yeah. So after that, we separated because of differences, and I formed Dynamik Focus. So a few. Actually, the thing is, I wasn't actually going to form Dynamik Focus. I was actually going to just do this little local thing that I was doing called Bits and Beats. It was like a retro gaming night kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to do that.
Where was that based out of?
That was based in New York, and it was at a local bar near Union Square.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, so you would have had the foot traffic there and everything.
Yeah, I had the foot traffic there. It was like, but at the same time, for me, it was difficult because since I left the team, I lost all my social media and I had to rebuild it. So a lot of my foot traffic just kind of faded away because I didn't have the support that I had before.
Of course.
Yeah.
You're basically taking all the workload and putting it upon yourself.
Yeah.
When you're within the team and you're just a cog of the machine. And you get out for whatever differences you guys had, then you're basically bringing all this workload upon yourself. So you said you were trying to do something small, but again, why did you create Dynamik Focus? Did you want to change a few things in the FGC? Do you see yourself as a game changer?
Well, before, like, there was a few people that really wanted to still compete, and they had issues too, and we're like, let's just
issues with PAG, or issues just in general with the way the FGC is structured.
I'll just leave it as that. I'll just leave it as that because the thing is that it goes into further like So they had issues, so we were just like, you know what, let's build our team, and then I brought in other people that from other just people that I knew from different locals, and we've just brought build our own team. And I created Dynamik Focus because but the name of the team was basically, since I used to do photography and I used to do I used to do a lot of FGC local photography that people weren't doing in the New York area. So I used to start like just shooting events and just getting it out there so that they had a free photographer, because I just, wanted experience.
Were you in photography before getting into the FGC? Or
I actually
did you
was.
Pick up, oh, you were?
I was, because I picked up my camera the day before I went to Panama to see my grandparents. So, and I just shot just my home country, like my mom's home country. And after that, I just started shooting events in New York City.
And that's a good way of looking at it. Hey, nobody's doing this. That's called progression. That's actually contributing to the scene.
Yeah.
And again, unfortunately, some people wouldn't even notice or look down upon it, but we've already talked, you don't know why people are like that.
Yeah.
So you get together with everybody, a few people from your locals, and you'll have the same plan. Let's just get together. Let's try to make some progress within New York City.
Yeah, when I'm within New York City, just to actually travel to events again, because the thing is that like a lot of some of the pro players that needed the support, we just needed to kind of gather our money around and just go to different events, and to have somebody that organizes it for you was the best option. So we did that,
When you recruit pro players, what kind of level player are you looking for? Are you looking for somebody who's very big in the local scene and could possibly exceed in the regional? Or do you just bring in anybody that you feel needs some exposure because of their talent?
It's basically their work ethic. So you can have somebody that goes to the local scene and shows up once in a while, but You need somebody that shows up to a local scene, shows up to another local scene, and literally streams like all the time. Like those people are really dedicated to gaming,
Yes.
and they need the exposure. So those are the people I actually recruit. People that really have really good work ethic.
And you want to help them achieve a dream, which is
Yeah.
a lot of dreams for gamers. I want to become a pro
Yeah.
at the highest level.
Yeah.
You offer them that.
I more that I actually offer them learning how to brand themselves, to actually branch themselves out, to actually become a pro gamer. Because one big thing is that everybody that wants to join a team, they all are like, I just want to join a team and represent them. I just want the jersey, and it will be easy. I just bang buttons. I just mash buttons and I win somehow, and then I get like what you call it, just letters in front of my name, and I'm good. But at the end of the day, do you actually have something for yourself, like a brand for yourself that you can grow and then possibly make yourself a sole proprietorship?
You're
And then-
teaching them.
Yeah.
And how do some of them react to that? It's like, well, I just
Some-
want the letters.
My team is more proactive than a lot of people. Like a lot of people on my team are extremely proactive. I haven't talked about the sole proprietorship with some people on my team that actually should be doing it, because they have the branding for themselves to actually grow a brand for themselves, grow their own economy within their systems, within their communities, and they can just grow on that
Okay.
and use that as a resume for other things. You know,
Okay. So you're like the mother to everybody there.
I'm DF Soccer Mom. The other name is Fallen Moist Obsidian Mom. So that's a big. That's in the
Oh,
teen
that's
chat.
great. I love that. Dynamik Focus. What was the first event together as a team that you guys contributed to, or even organized yourselves?
Dynamik Focus, since it was October 16th, it was an ECT event. It was our first actual event where we actually went with the few members that I had, and I made Dynamik Focus.
How many members did you have at the time?
I had 4 members.
Were they all competitors at ECT, or were they helping running brackets?
They were all competitors.
Okay, then what
That-
games did they mainly compete in?
Killer Instinct, Smash, and Street Fighter. So,
Okay, so you have a good
Yeah.
diverse portfolio of games.
yeah,
Who came up with the name Dynamik Focus?
I did.
Was there a reason behind it?
Yeah, because I was a photographer and I shot in Dynamik Focus.
Freaking love that.
The whole spiral thing, this little thing right here,
Yes.
that's the shutter eye.
Okay.
Yeah,
And the eagle, or is that
and the
an
eagle, it's a hawk.
Oh, that's a
For-
hawk.
yeah, eyesight,
Yeah.
stuff
Well,
like that.
being a woman in the FGC, we got to talk about this.
Okay.
How have people, approached you with all the unfortunate events that have happened in the gaming world within the last 6 years, Gamergate, all this stuff? Have you gotten some people looking at you? Why is she here? Why is she? How can I put this? Have you gotten any negative backlash because you are a woman?
Mostly because like there's things where I get excluded from because and I don't know if it's I'm a woman or anything like that, because the thing is that since I've been in the scene for a while and I've been doing a lot of stuff in the scene, I don't see that as much, and also I'm 6'1".
She's gonna fuck somebody up.
yeah. Like a lot of people that I meet are shorter than me and don't want to, but I'll get it on the internet, but not as much as
Okay.
like I would see from other people. That's why I don't say that this doesn't exist, because it does exist,
Of
and I'm
course.
seeing their receipts, But and I've been fortunate about it. But the biggest thing about me is that um I'm not included in the conversation. So
Is it because you know how to defend yourself? You could back up your words where you're gonna fuck somebody up if you need to. Pardon the language. Is it because you're not an easy target of the BS talk?
I, as I said, I don't know, but the truth be told, I'm not in the conversation where it comes to organizing other things.
Your name is not thrown out there, so you don't give it much thought.
I don't give it much thought. And then another thing that I do is I circumvent the wall. Like if I know there's a barrier there, I'm gonna go here to try to grow to grow myself in this direction, while you're here with your stuff right over here. That's how I've been operating. Like if I know I'm not gonna be able to organize this thing, I'm gonna find something else to organize and grow in that. I'm not gonna make somebody stop me from doing what I want to do.
Okay.
You know, I've been going to different conventions and different things and presenting myself because I'm doing things outside of the scene to grow my brand. And that's how I've been operating. That's why I go and say I don't see it that much, because sometimes when I feel the barrier there, I'm not there to be hitting my head against this barrier.
So whatever internet trolls or critics you have online, the ones that really don't matter, you could easily just phase them out. It's like you guys aren't helping me out, so why should I bother?
Why should I bother? Yeah.
Which is really that's how it should be.
Yeah.
And especially now in the world we live in, where people look at some words and could be constructive criticism, and they just can't shy it away. It's like, no, I have to validate what this person is saying. You have a different approach,
Yeah.
especially within the gaming community.
Yeah, because the thing is that I've been going through, because I have streamers, every single person in my team is doing something diverse, so they can fall back on it, and I can't go and just concentrate on the FGC just because I want to be part of it. No, I have to accommodate for everybody in the team. So I have to go out and I have to go to PAX. I have to go on the show floor with my card to every single person that will actually hear me out, and getting information and try to work that way. Or going and talking to different teams and different other people that really want to do something with me and working with them, because it's what you have to do to actually grow or do anything that you really want to do.
And like you said, it's all work ethic.
It's all work ethic.
And you have a great work ethic from everything that I know about you.
Yeah.
So there you go. So another topic that has brought up lately, it's everything that's happening, all the auxiliary things going on within the scene. Some sexual accusations, some people being outed. You're an organizer. In just maybe 2 or 3 sentences, because I don't feel like going in deep into this. This is way bigger than it should be. Yeah. How do you mitigate those problems? How do you circumvent this stuff from happening in the future? Because now, even though it didn't get prime time television, I believe the story was shown on CNN and some other some other TV networks. But you're an organizer. You know a lot of these people who put these events together. Again, how do you mitigate this? Do you make it 18 and above only, 21 and above only?
No, you make sure that one of the biggest things is that, like, I don't have people under the age of 18 on my team, not because of allegations or anything like that. It's just that I don't have a chaperone for you. I don't.
You're not here to hold their hands.
Not even hold their hands. You have to have a chaperone with them. These events are for adults. This is a competition where people are either doing it professionally or do it casually. It's basically a whole bunch of adults in a room playing video games, right? You don't know why they're here. You have to have a chaperone, there's alcohol being distributed in these events.
Concessions.
There's
Yes.
concessions are, like there's alcohol there, like and adults are being adults in this area, and it's not something obscene. There's nothing wrong. It's just that you wouldn't leave your child there. That's it.
I did door security one time at Apex, and the amount of people, parents who would come from South Carolina to watch their kid play a video game, it's amazing. But some of them would actually just leave them. Hey, look, mom, I'm gonna go play with these guys, and they would just walk away. And kids like 15 or 14, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you can't do that. Like unfortunately, like everybody says this is a safe space and everything like that, but it's not. It's basically it's a space. People are having fun. People are doing what they want to do, but there's always somebody that they're not trying to do what's up. It's like leaving your child in a building. That's it. Like, would you leave your child just in a random building?
How long do you think it will take the scene to wash away all these, black guys and everything that's happened in the last few weeks?
It's gonna take a while.
Gonna take a while.
Yeah, because it's not ending. Because like, if you're a person like me, there's people who randomly message you in the middle of the day while you're working or you're doing something that you're chilling out with friends or stuff like that. I get a message from somebody that tells me their story, and it's somebody new, and I can't say who it was or who's doing it. It's I give the power to the victims to come out and say what they need to say, but it's still happening, and and people are not, accounting for their actions.
You said Dynamik Focus is trying to branch out to different kind of game scenes. What other kind of game scenes are you trying to branch out to? I mean, going to PAX, going to big conventions with, business card. Like, again, like what other genres or what other kind of companies are you talking to?
So basically, I've been talking to different indie companies and stuff like that, different games that need marketing and everything like that. I am still talking to my PR firm and the PR firm that works with Swim Sanity, Decoy Games.
Yes.
So when that comes out, we're going to be doing stuff with them too. So it's just like we're branching out by doing marketing in different areas in different gaming scenes.
Are you trying to branch out also, picking up maybe a different team member for maybe something like a first-person shooter, or I don't know if they're sponsored players for what do you call it, for speed running. I don't know much about that scene.
I have a speedrunner.
And that's a huge scene as well.
Yeah.
I've seen awesome games done quick.
Yeah.
Has this person gone to any of those?
He's actually just turning 20, so no, not yet.
What game does he speedrun?
He speedruns Union on Squadron and Doom, like old Doom, and he does all the old games, and he's just like this really he's his name is Sidorino.
Mm-hmm.
He's like just an old man and a young heart. It's just like
Surprisingly not. There's a lot of people like that too.
yeah.
You'd be surprised. You would think they were born in the wrong decade or the wrong generation. Trust me, I have a guy at my job who's 33 and he hates the internet. He hates computers. It's like, you're 33. What are you, 80 years old or something?
Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing. Like he just applied. He wasn't accepted. So we just have to wait for the next season, which is winter. So
how much has COVID damaged, or what's the best word to say? How much has it prevented you from, keep branching out your brand?
A lot, because the thing is that like we came out with a new apparel line and everything that you see this is the old design, and we're gonna redesign the blue design and everything like that. But we got the alternative jerseys, and I just was able to send them out. We just ordered them actually. We just sent out like the mask, these
Oh yeah, I
masks.
saw that. Those are pretty sweet.
Yeah. So
Dynamik Focus branded masks. They are pretty sweet,
Yeah, they
guys.
are.
They really are. There you go.
But yeah, we most of us because most of us we do a lot of photography and stuff like that and traveling around, and that actually stopped the marketing machine that we are.
Yes.
So we had to we're actually changing our the way that we're marketing now, since we can't move anywhere. Like, you doing the podcast is a great idea for KPB. We are now going to be
Thank you.
doing, yeah, it's great. No, this is awesome. This is an awesome idea. This is an awesome way to actually start to branch out more, um what we are doing right now is, like, we're hosting on the Dynamics Focus Twitch channel now. So we're starting to actually getting all these guys to sit down there and host on the channel and grow the scene, our scene, that way, and grow everyone else's channels. Because right now I'm focusing on building each individual brand, but I'm also not thinking of mine. So I have to think of mines now. So I now have to make sure that Dynamic Focus is taken care of so that I can take care of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay then. Is streaming on Twitch, is that considered content creation?
Yes.
Oh, it is. Okay. And how many hours a week do you have your guys trying to stream on there?
For each individual, I'm trying to contract them out to 4 hours a month.
Contracting them out. So
Yeah.
I like your approach. Everything is written, no handshakes.
Yeah.
Because a lot in this scene and a lot of gaming scenes, it's like the old wrestling way, the old circus way. Let's shake a hand
Yeah.
and let's hope everybody keeps their promises.
Yeah.
You're actually, again, I've come back to the scene, and KPB, I don't think they were doing contracts back then. I'm not certain because I was never part of those talks, but you're one of the first people I know that it's like, let's sit down.
Yeah,
let's
I
read
haven't,
this.
because right now I haven't gone through it because I have to go through the LLC and also have the markup for the contract, which I'm doing through a lawyer, which not a lot of teams do.
What are those?
One was a lawyer, but
They're evil.
No, but having a lawyer there, getting everything sorted out, so nothing's up in the air. And then when you sit down with the contract, because I know that I have to sit down with every single individual person with the contract, because the thing is that the lawyer told me that it's going to be at least 30 pages. So it's just like, okay.
This should be fun.
It's going to be fun with everybody. Like,
speaking of contracts, we were talking about something earlier. Player's name will not be named, but we did talk about that. You overlooked somebody's contract and you saw this isn't doing anything for you. But you'd be surprised how many people sign contracts just because it's like, hey, I'm sponsored now. I'm pro player. And at the end of the day, they don't get nothing out of it.
Which is the if you're signing a contract and you can see that the both of you aren't being benefited, you should not sign that contract. You should never sign that contract. You should get somebody to review your contract before you actually sign it. And if you don't have anybody reviewing it, at least if you're sitting down in front of the organization and they're not running it down with the lawyer, and if you don't have questions or anything like that, or even having another person just to listen to you while the contract's actually being formed, don't sign that contract.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, even when I was 17 or 16 years old, my mother always told me, if you're going to get into anything where you have to sit down and write it, you might want to look it over.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you might get screwed. You're going to get screwed
Gonna
over.
get screwed over, yeah.
And some people, oh, sure, we could look at them. Some people who are not into the gaming industry will say, well, he's a 21, 22-year-old. He really doesn't know what's going on. But you'd be surprised how many people are above the age of 30 who still don't look it over. Right? This should be regular skills that you should have, growing up. Education system at least helps you out here, or do something.
Yeah. I mean, we just went through the news, like, I think 1 or 2 years ago, about a big organization that was taking 80% from a player.
80%.
80%.
Wow. He signed it without looking at it.
It's not that he signed it without looking at it. He just didn't know he was going to. They were taking 80% from him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see where you're going with
Yeah.
this. 20% to him may seem like a lot, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you're
yeah.
not getting
Yeah.
all the numbers.
No, not getting all the numbers. So
And again, it's great that you take the time to sit down and you're protecting your players, or you're
Yeah.
protecting your investments with anybody that you talk to.
Yeah. So, like, as I said before, I don't have a contract now, but I've been explaining my contract to the players so they know that later on, this is coming down the pike. This is coming. This the way this is going to be structured is like, you know, I'm gonna definitely tell you that you have to stream on the DF site 4 hours a month, and the other thing is that all the little things in between, like everything your structured brand for Twitch or your YouTube or anything like that, that's your brand. You own that.
Yes.
I don't take anything from you.
What's the fun part? Well, before I get to that question, when I first contacted you, you told me Dynamik Focus is a grassroots esports organization.
It's grassroots.
Help me out. What is a grassroots esports organization?
I am not sponsored.
Nice and simple.
I'm not sponsored. Yeah, that's very simple. Like, I say grassroots because it's nicer than saying unsponsored. You know, you say unsponsored, people are like, ew.
You're not worth my time.
You're not worth my time at all. But
which is another mentality that's unfortunately in the gaming community.
Mhm.
Well, you're not unsponsored. You're unsponsored, excuse me. So why should I waste my time? Well, do you want to support the community? Yes or no?
But the other thing is that, do you really want to be on a sponsored team? Because when you're on a sponsored team, you have obligations.
Yes.
You have obligations that you have to have for that team. Because the thing is that it's not the team that is making the rules. It's the sponsor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So that's the reason. Like, people
they're your
don't,
bosses.
but people don't get it. People don't get it. People are like, oh, I want to do all these things that I really want to do, and I'm like, you can't, because you can't. The sponsor for these brands, they have a certain type of reputation that they have to uphold.
Of course.
You know.
Of course.
If you're not upholding those expectations, they can't take you.
No.
It's like what
you're
you
not
call
worth the investment.
Yeah, like, you know, if you're going for a job and they go and say, well, we need you to have your nails cut, and you're like, I don't want to cut my nails, you're not getting the job.
No.
Yeah.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
And it's sad that you have to explain that to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Where, perfect example, when I was working at Target, there was a kid there who happened to be the nephew of one of the bosses. So he thought he had free reign. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way.
Even you know, even his family member had to tell him, it's like, well, what made you think, you know, what made you think you could do this? It's like, well, because you're a family member and you're the boss here. But that's not the way business works.
It doesn't work.
And unfortunately, a lot of people like fear that. It's like, well, I'm not going to be my own person. I'm not going to be able to do what it is that I want to do. No, you'll be able to go out there, maybe send you to play a few games at a few majors, but you have to adhere to
certain things. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm not saying because one of the biggest things that I have, biggest problems that I have is basically, as a black person, I hate it when people have different ideas of how I should carry my hair. Like, yeah, just like in New York, we just a year ago, you couldn't discriminate against people of color for the style of hair that they had.
I did not know that. I didn't need to know that. I didn't know that was a thing.
It's a very much a thing, because I used to do braids and I used to not get a job because of braids, and I'm like, but that's how I keep my hair neat.
Yes. You're hiring my skills. You're not
You're
hiring my looks.
my looks.
Yes.
Like you're not hiring. Like, if I'm neatly coming in with a design of hairstyle that keeps my hair neat and clean, you shouldn't discriminate against me against that because I'm being hygienic.
Yes.
You know, that's a hair that grows on top of my head. You shouldn't say that that's a trend. Afro is not a trend. Afro is how I keep my hair neat.
Is racial inequality something in the esports universe?
Yeah. So like that's the thing. Yeah,
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. You know, it's
There's
the world.
no fixing that.
There is fixing that because the reason why we're having this discussions right now is because of the Black Lives Matter movement. There's an actual civil rights movement that's pretty much the biggest movement of all time
Yes.
happening.
I mean, and this is not just a U.S. thing; it's a worldwide
thing. Yeah. So that's why we're having these discussions of race and of inequality happening, and that's why I said another thing like. These discussions are not going to go away. We had the Microsoft discussion right now, and then all of a sudden, Mixer
just went
down.
I mean, Ninja made out like a bandit, but
yeah, he made out like a bandit. But you know, the discussions of like one of the Microsoft guys that was working under Microsoft, a black man who just talked about the racial biases that he had. You know?
Yes. What's the best part about owning a grassroots, or what's the best parts of putting together a grassroots esports team? What's the fun part?
The fun part is basically the team itself. They're nuts.
They're like your family members. How many players you have under your roster right now?
So right now I have 15.
How much? 50?
15.
Oh, 15.
Oh, no, not 50. I'm not overburdening myself that much. That would be absolute suicide. You
said they're all nutty. Which are the 5 nuttiest guys in there? And gals. I don't know if it's only guys. So I'll just say guys and gals. Which ones are the 5 nuttiest? Which ones are the ones that
driving me crazy?
That drive you nuts, and it's like
okay, so it's Jackal. I'm just looking at Steve just dying in the background.
She loves you guys. Just remember that.
They already know that, but they know that they're driving me nuts.
What game does he play for people who don't know?
Jackal plays NRS KI. He plays Battle for the Grid, and I think he's going back to fighting EX later. I don't know. That's not up to me. He does what he does. And
by the way,
are
we ranking them from least nuttiest to most nuttiest? How you doing this?
I'm doing it on what I can see right now because the thing is that like I know one of them. People when they see it, they're like, "How is he driving you crazy?" Because they don't know him.
Some great conversations within the team during your next meeting.
No, but they are. No, come on. But everybody knows. If you're in the team, you already know who's driving me crazy.
All right.
Right.
So that's number 5.
So, there's Rome. Rome just posts a whole bunch of crazy shit on the internet, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" So yeah, everybody follow Rome and stuff. If you want to die laughing, just there's a video every single like minute where it's just like.
Is his Twitter handle Rome himself?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I saw that name recently.
Oh, did you see the one where he was like, "Okay, I have a list of all your favorite e-girls." the nurse from Bible Black and me in a Sonic outfit, and everybody voted that they wanted me in a Sonic outfit.
I'll be honest with you, my Twitter free trial ended up like, oh, you gotta get the full app. I think I've seen something like that. Mike showed me that Afro Dynamik, and it's like, Jesus Christ.
This is what I deal with.
All right, so that's number 4. Come on, we got 3 more.
We got 3 more. I mean, Okay, so the next one, and I definitely would say, is Gur. Everybody does it. Everybody's like, "Oh, he's the sweetest thing ever. He's just in the corner, and you just no, no."
I remember Gurr from the first time I ever saw him playing Injustice 1. He was the big Bane player.
Yeah, big Bane
Oh,
player.
man.
Just-
He was awesome.
yeah, he's just a cute little. I hate him.
I hate she loves you.
Yo, he's like every time he's going to start with me, he's like Aziza, and I'm like, okay, what are you gonna do now? And it's just like he trolls the hell out of you.
Yeah.
It's like high school all over again with him. Literally, just like he's the little brother I've never wanted and the son I deserve to have.
Sounds like my kind of people. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm a sarcastic SOB,
Yeah.
man. All right, come on. We got 2 more.
Okay. Sane is not with the team anymore, but he's still in the team chats. And yeah, he's the best. He's another one where it's like everyone, "Oh, he's really quiet." What do you mean? I'm just sitting down here like literally in a team chat. I'm sitting down there and all of a sudden he's rapping. Facebook chat.
You look like you're about to cry from all the laughter.
It's crazy. Oh, Thanksgiving was crazy too. Whatever they were just screaming for Thanksgiving. Like literally recording themselves screaming for Thanksgiving. My uncle was like, "What the hell was that?" I'm like, I can't explain it. I can't.
And then we're down to number 1. Let's see.
Oh,
Who's
God.
the Dynamik Focus player, team member that drives Aziza the craziest?
I can't even think
Should
of
we do
it.
a drum roll, Steve?
Because the 4 of them. Oh, good.
I hope that was caught.
Okay, 'cause I'm trying to think. He doesn't. Okay, he actually would be number 5 because, but it is Lionheart because the reason why he drives me crazy is because whenever someone does something crazy, he asks questions, so it amplifies everything. So here's a story, okay? Because I've told this story many times and people don't believe it, but it happened and it's true. I got Popeyes and it was Winter Brawl, and we all were sitting down there in the room chilling. It was me, Gur, Devin, and Lionheart, and also another person outside. Juju was in the
You
room
said
too.
you got Popeyes?
We got Popeyes.
Was this during the big Popeyes and Chick-fil-A burger chicken sandwich clash?
No. It's happened. It was way before.
Okay.
So we're all sitting down. We're eating. We're having a good old time, and the Lionheart just takes the bucket of spicy chicken and just puts it right by him and just starts eating out of the bucket. And I'm like, okay, sir. So Gur was like, "Hey, can I have a piece?" And he's like, "Sure, like it's for everybody." And takes a piece, eats it calmly. Everything's fine. We're all quiet. Everything's fine. Gur waits for the last piece, right? And waits for Lionheart to actually just go for it. Gur goes and swipes it underneath from underneath his hands and grabs it, eats it, Cole cons it up in the air, and eats another bite. And we're like, what the hell's that?
Yoink.
Yoink. And so the first thing that comes out of Lionheart's mouth is, "Why did you Kodokan the chicken in the air?" And Gur's response was, "To make it taste better." We're like, we all just was like dumbfounded. This is going on.
It's not like I gotta hang out with these guys.
We're actually stupid. Like,
Well, that's what makes a good close family.
Yeah.
You know, it's if you don't have that camaraderie,
Mm-hmm.
then it will just be a whole bunch of people just staring at each other and not having fun.
Yeah.
And that's one thing even from my times back in the day in the FGC, it's like I always just was in it to have fun.
Yeah.
A lot of people look at going to a major, because I usually could only ever go down to the Philadelphia ones, and when East Coast Throwdown was in Jersey, I know I'm not the best competitor because I mainly started playing the most recent games, MK9. I played some Street Fighter 4, but I always just like the older school MK games. Now I go there Saturday because when guys like Shock, James MK, Summoning, and all those guys, that's when they usually have their tournaments.
Yeah.
So even though we were going to compete against each other, we always knew to have fun, because if you're not having fun, why are you doing this then? If you're just there just to, start trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But we went from what's the best thing, what's the worst thing about having an esports organization? What's the one thing that, besides your players driving you nuts in a fun way, like what is the most annoying? What's the bad?
The bad is actually the esports connections to actually grow your brand to market. That is difficult because right now everybody looks at numbers, everybody looks at and I don't have them. Like my social media numbers are really low because I don't get talked about.
No.
And I understand that, and that's as I said before, it's a wall that I'm going to go around you. So I'm going to try to get my numbers up the best way I can, the most legit way I can, without just buying a whole bunch of followers, because that's not going to work for me anyway.
Okay.
Because they're not going to respond. It's just bodies there,
yes.
And just creating content to make sure that I'm talked about. And I'm not going to use the people that I know to talk about me. I'm going to find others.
Yes.
Of
course, yes.
Yeah. So that's one big thing. So
it's
numbers...
it's networking with the right people.
Yeah.
It's networking with people who want to grow their brand as well.
Yeah.
It's not people who, unfortunately, have this weird foothold where they think, they're the world's greatest thing just because maybe you have a bigger brand than everybody, which is, I never understood that thinking. We're all in it together. Yeah. So it's most likely about money, isn't it?
It is about money.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically money. The money is very it's given, a lot of money is given to bigger brands, and they're not sharing it. There's no way that anything can like, I think Rodney said it best, is that there's a lot of money given to a lot of people that are not using it in the right way. You know?
He said that in episode 1, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Please check that out.
Yeah, so that's the big thing. It's like, and I have been honest with other brands too. Like, there are brands that was like, okay, if I give you 50,000, I mean, sorry, if I give you $5,000 a month, what would you do it? And I'm like, number one, I don't have the numbers to make sure that investment is actually worth your while.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't produce $5,000 worth of content for you.
No.
Not where I am. Maybe a lower amount, and I've been written off the table because I was honest with somebody.
Yes. It's all about likes. It's all about subscriptions. Yeah,
it's likes, subscriptions, and everything like that. Like, you may go and say, oh, likes, subscriptions, and numbers, that doesn't matter, but to an esports organization, it does matter.
Of course, yes.
Yeah, that's my marketing chips. That's the bargaining chip I use to get my guys different, bargaining chips for, partnerships and stuff like that. That's what I use,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So if you want to support, you support your players, that you also have to support the brands that they actually represent too.
Of course. And it's weird because you give them a line and you say, listen, with $5,000, like you said, I may not, just because you're honest with them where you are.
Yeah.
And yet they turn their back to you, and then they go with people who have been, I guess if you want to say, they've been in power for so long. Mm-hmm. But we're within the community. We know how much of a, for lack of a better word, clusterfuck some people do.
Yeah.
So why do they keep going back to those certain individuals? I we see no growth.
Mm-hmm.
So why do they keep going back, or is that just another thing where this is the status quo? And unfortunately, the people in quote unquote power just they feel comfortable where they are. Would you say that's what it is, or is there a more underlying problem there?
No, it's just you're dealing with old money, and old money knows certain structures, and the only way that you would get noticed by old money is to be loud enough for old money to see you. That's it. Like, you think that like all these like soft drink brands and food companies and apparel companies are run by young people? They're not.
No, they're not. Of course not.
They're run by people that only know Facebook,
Suits.
only know Facebook, only know Twitter, and only know Instagram. So, and those numbers are what they're ruling everything by. So they're not investing into like things like TikTok or anything like that. They're just condensing themselves into these brands that they kind of understand. So the more louder you are in the community, the more likely you're going to be picked up first.
Of course, and like going back, they are suits.
Yeah.
Like I talked with Ronnie, these are people who they don't get it. They're in it because let me invest money in this. They don't really know what's going on. They have no reason to. If you want to look at it that way, people have so much money, but I mean, obviously, it bothers so many people. But unfortunately, they are the last say, are they not?
Yeah, they're the last say. But another thing is that people invest in things because they think there's going to be a return for it.
Of course.
And they're investing in people that have the loudest numbers because they're most likely statistically to bring a return.
Of course.
So that's it. If you can bring something to the table that shows them that you're a counter to the status quo, yes, they'll invest into you.
Of course.
That's the reason why the issue is that right now FGC numbers are low. If you want to
across the board,
across the board, that's why we're having issues with investment. Is that I understand that everyone loves the FGC, everybody loves everything like that. They want to get paid, but you have to talk.
Of course,
you gotta talk.
Yeah.
If you like your brand, you like something about somebody in your community, you have to talk about them because that's where the opportunities come from. It's from word of mouth advertisement because you can't pay for word of mouth advertisement, but you can give money to person that make sure that word of mouth advertisement will actually come from. Like that's where they will generate.
What's the reason a big investor should invest in the FGC? Esports in general in the last 5, maybe 8 years has grown, but that's on a different sector. First-person shooters, Overwatch League, LOL, Dota.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, ESPN, I believe they still have the TV rights to the international, the big Dota tournament.
Yeah.
But the FGC, why should somebody invest into it if they decide to? Ooh, tough questions.
See, it's not even a tough question because the thing is that one of the things of the FGC is that the companies just started investing into the FGC. So the producers of the games just started doing this. This is not Blizzard or Rare or anybody taking money out of their pockets to invest into a professional league.
Of course.
So that's the reason why it's a little bit harder for the FGC to get all this stuff. The only people that I know that would actually benefit the most from investment, and they could, is NRS. NetherRealm Studios has the money, and they also are from America, so they don't have to worry about any gambling laws or anything like that.
I mean, look at the characters they've had in their games, and those are big IP characters.
Yes.
I mean, Predator is huge.
Yeah.
RoboCop, Terminator.
It's huge.
You're absolutely right. They do have the money.
Yeah.
They ran the league for a while there, didn't they? For MK10, I believe it was, or maybe Injustice 2.
They have pro leagues for every single title. It's just that it's not as high stakes as a Dota or
Of
a
course, of
yeah,
course, yes,
but they do have it,
yes.
and the biggest thing would NRS actually advertising for their leagues on different networks,
Of course.
but they they don't have that type of investment. They just kind of put a league together, and somehow the community should be talking about it, but the community doesn't talk.
No.
So
Down with
that's
esports.
down with esports. So the thing is that if the community was as feverish or just talked about what they're doing, the money would roll in faster.
Well, of course, you brought back something.
Because we're definitely grassroots. We're definitely like unsponsored. We're definitely just kind of just like just talking about each other, and that's it. Like,
because I remember, I believe it was Street Fighter 4 as well, but MK9, MLG picked them up.
yeah.
MLG was huge back then. I don't know how big they are nowadays,
Mm-hmm.
but they were putting up money. They were giving us prime time, and the community just had a big backlash on it because it's like, oh, well, you're scheduling it during a big grassroots event. So
Mhm.
by all means, you're absolutely right. The community does it to themselves.
Yeah.
You know, the money is there, but why would a big entity want to invest in something where the fan base, the people who are supposed to be there rooting for everything, just have such a negative backlash? Because again, down with esports.
Yeah. I mean, I think there was more to the MLG thing than just the event. There was something going on with MLG,
Okay.
and that's the reason why like that kind of faltered through. But other than that, it's not. I'm not just like, oh, it's just a community that's like screwing each. Like it's literally like there's literally a trifecta of not communicating. It's from like from the event itself, from the publishers, from the community. There's a trifecta where the communication's kind of broken down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dynamik Focus has had. How long have you guys been around? You said 5 years?
Since 2016,
So
so
4 years going
4 years, yeah, going on 4 years.
Where do you see Dynamik Focus in 5 years?
Hopefully bigger. Because currently, right now, we've been several media outlets have called it a tier 2 esport. An unsponsored tier 2 esport.
Oh, they have
team,
different tiers now?
There's tiers.
Well, which is the highest tier?
Highest tier is one where you're actually having you're pretty much like a TSM, Cloud9, Evil Geniuses. They have a actual business structure.
Yes.
Like I'm pretty much a S corp structure, like one owner and different managers, and
that's organized.
Yeah.
There you go. But again, you said in 5 years you're hoping, and we know it's going to be bigger. But follow-up question to that: how much longer do you see yourself doing this? Even if it gets big, or maybe it just stays where it is. How much longer do you see yourself running a grassroots esports organization? How long do you see yourself within this community? Or is that something you really don't want to think about where you are right now? You just want to keep building up your brand.
I just want to keep on building up my brand because the thing is that at least I have a 5-year plan on how it builds up. Because the way that the economy is for gaming is so in flux.
Yes.
That streaming platforms are growing and dying. Different publishers are growing, dying.
Oh yes, that's always been a big problem, man.
Big problem.
If you go on the Xbox Live store, streaming apps. I mean, I remember some that were thriving years ago. Now they're just no longer there.
Yeah.
It's Netflix and everybody else. HBO Max, but you're absolutely right. So again, how long do you see yourself again doing this? How long? Again, going back to the question, how long do you see yourself within the FGC before you maybe say, I just have to abandon it and just continue on with other organizations? Because I guess a question I should have asked is, how much support are you getting from within the FGC? I'm
actually getting so amount of support. I'm not gonna say that no one supported me because that's not true. People support you, but they don't know how to support you, and or they're at like I have so many times when people have come up to me and they say, "How do I support Dynamik Focus?" And I'm like, retweet myself. It's like
Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Just subscribe to our channels. Like, I have apparel. If you can afford it, if we're doing an event, retweet the event. If you see something really hype about us, like when I came out with the new jerseys and stuff like that, retweet that. Say, wow, those are really cool. Like, literally talk about us. Because if you don't talk about us, everything goes to the wayside and new people don't get to see us.
Right.
Like, I literally, like, sometimes, like, girl would be like, yeah, I play for DF. And in his stream chat, they're like, what is DF? I'm like, Dynamik Focus is a team that he, yeah. Like, how you not know this?
It's growing pains.
It's a lot of growing pains. Where it's like, and then that's why I'm like, it's not the fault of the FG series, not of the community thing. It literally is. There has been a communication error for the longest time, and it's not changing right now, but the more we talk, the more we support each other. Like the biggest thing that like okay, when it comes back to the how what I see myself in 5 years, I see myself having a communication network that basically the music industry has.
Yes.
Where we have a network of teams, TOs, and everything like that literally start talking about each other so that our brand gets pushed out so more people will know about us.
Yeah, they could stop stepping on your toes, basically.
Not even stop stepping on our toes, but we have to learn to actually do the stuff that, because the thing is, I'm part of a PR firm, and that's what they do. That's what they came from. They came from the music industry, where the music industry, all these artists that you see right now are literally talking about each other.
Okay.
They're literally talking about each other, and that's the reason why you know about them.
Oh, all right.
That's the reason why they get that word of mouth, everything. Oh, this hype album from this person, this hype album for that person. These people have created networks of people to talk about each other.
Okay, all right.
And that's something that has to be repeated in the gaming industry for us to actually get the sponsorships, get the marketing, get everything like that. We have to start actually forming these bonds, and also talking to the music industry, and also talking to other people that really want to get into gaming, don't know how, and they literally are like, you literally have music artists just sitting down here going like, I want to do gaming, but I don't know how to do it. Like, and I'm just sitting out here like,
hello?
Come in, hello? Like,
East Coast Throwdown 2019, wasn't it sponsored by some kind of music label?
yeah.
I went there on Sunday to get some games of MK2 in, and I'm pretty sure they were sponsored.
Yeah,
by
it was sponsored by them. Like the whole thing where the gaming industry should actually start thinking like a lifestyle brand.
Yes.
We start to actually move in the way that lifestyle brands actually do, which is basically having those communication networks.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Aziza, it was fun.
Yeah.
Where could people reach you?
You can reach me at Dynamik Focus, all over, like, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm usually mostly on Twitter. And also you can see me at ZZ Down on Twitter. I will not take your Facebook request. I will talk to you on Twitter.
And remember, guys, go on Twitch to see all the fun and shenanigans of her team,
Yes.
Dynamik Focus.
Dynamik Focus is going to be regularly streaming soon. The 23rd, I think Saki's going to be on first.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, it was fun. It was great getting to know you. Hopefully,
Yes.
we'll have a return episode sometime.
I probably
Maybe there was a few things in there you didn't get out, but again, you're gonna say?
No, like, hopefully that the whole communication network that I actually been talking about, maybe that starts to come to fruition because I started to talk about it,
There you
which
go.
is something that we need to do.
And I'm glad you came on the podcast because this is just another avenue for you to try to get,
Yeah.
your message out there.
Yeah.
Again, thank you very much. It was a lot of fun. Guys, have a good day. This is Aziza Brown. You guys take care.
All right, have a good one.
That was fun.
This has been a KPB Media Works production.